Hi, this is Pastor Andy again, and as we get ready for another week of worship, this week we're going to be continuing our journey focusing on the letter O, which stands for observe. Last week we talked about the J standing for Jesus because he is the authority for our journey. And it was Jesus who taught his disciples at the time, and that message carries forward to us, that we are to teach others to observe everything he has commanded. The early church focused on discipleship, the teaching of the apostles, as it says in Acts chapter 2. Paul continued that tradition, and in fact, I believe in Colossians 1, verses 28-29, it's probably his mission statement, talking about how he wanted everyone to be presented mature or perfect in Christ. And that focus on discipleship that was so important to him and the early church, and certainly to Jesus. So we have to ask ourselves, are we making disciples? How are we going about doing that? Well, as we answer that question with a focus on observe this week, we're going to begin to look at Matthew chapter 13 and the various kingdom parables, and looking at those parables in light of the functions that we should be practicing as a church. If we are practicing those functions as a church, they should be leading us and others towards the kingdom. And so what is that kingdom that Jesus is describing for us? And he lays those out in several different parables in Matthew 13, again, that we'll be looking at over the next several weeks. This week is the parable of the sower and the various soils that affect the receptivity. Not so much the various soils, but perhaps what is within that soil, whether it be the rocks, whether it falls along the path for the birds to come, whether it be the cares of this world. How does that affect our ability to observe? And more importantly, our ability to make disciples so that others might observe as well. That's what we're going to be looking at this week. I hope you'll join us. Have a great